So recently, Dragon Ball Legends released this new banner style / format where there are less steps. You come back to step 1, which is definitely new, and then on step 4, you do a crazy multi-summon. I want to call it something better than that, but like it's like a glorified, like ticket. And speaking of tickets, those are completely gone, by the way. They are not a part of the exchange shop here. So the ticket system has been in the game since every basically premium step up has been here. And stay tuned, because later today or tomorrow, I'm not sure, most likely tomorrow because it is a little late already, I will be coming back and just chronicling how step ups have changed, starting with the original step ups, which I think was Hercule and King Piccolo, and then also the way that they implemented Legends exclusive like characters that were on tickets, and then how that got rerouted to being Legends limited characters. Well, Legends limited, but then they added Legendary Finish because the original didn't have. So there's like so much to it. So all in all, we're here. And I just gotta say that, looking at it for the banner, I want to know how many of you guys pulled the characters on this banner, pulled for this banner in general, with the changes in mind, etc. Oh, by the way, like the pity system is worse here now. It requires 55 coins, and yeah, so there's that. Anyway, I'm gonna do a reaction video as well. This is a separate one, but I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about the new tag? Post down below, and I'm gonna react to your comments in a separate video other than the one I was talking about just a moment ago with the step ups, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's look at this banner individually. So I talked about how the banner is working. You go step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you get a glorified ticket summon. Almost, not really, because it's not as good as the tickets were. I believe those tickets had like a 5% chance or something like that for the new character. Anyway, moving on. The way that one works is it's just a single summon though, right? So there's no longer like that double chance on step 5, and then the free characters, this and that. Like, they're not doing any of those incentives that they've done in various iterations of step ups. We now have this new system, which I am praying this new system is exclusively for Legends original characters, because I don't expect to get very many original characters often in the game, like probably a couple a year. I'm okay with it if they only do it a couple times a year. Well, whatever, I'll take the L, I don't mind. This guy's here though alongside them. I believe this is his first return, maybe second, but I'm pretty sure it's like the first. This guy's here, which actually kind of came out pretty clutch for me. If you saw my summon video, I had him at 6 star and I got the 7th star. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I actually kind of need that, don't I? And it clicked and it said 7 star Zenkai available. I was like, let's go. Full power Frieza also has a Zenkai, kind of whatever. I don't think he's on the best version of LOE, and I don't really think it's particularly close. Part of that's though because he's ranged, and it's kind of iffy. Like, there are some ranged characters you would use, but moving on. This Goku, Once Upon a Time in Terror, still amazing art, but not a character you really want to get anymore. And then other than that though, we have this new EX Bardock and EX Frieza. And for the record, I don't care how good these characters are, they're not the reason you're pulling on this banner unless you're extremely like a fan of these characters. But just to understand, it's harder to get them than it is to get this character. That's how the new EXs work. Their rate is lower than the new Sparking characters and the new LF characters. So yeah, I think they have like a 0.3. Like, pulling them is almost the equivalent to pulling an Ultra. So just think about that for a minute. Anyway, so we have that banner, but when that banner popped up, another banner came out. Oh, I have 3 tickets. I can go get those right now. I'll do that for a separate video. Another banner popped up, and there's like 15 freaking banners in the game right now. Where is it at? Good Lord. No, this is too far down. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where you at, baby? Where you at? Oh, okay, okay. Apparently it's not live in the game yet. Let me go ahead and pull up the website. Yeah, so I wasn't aware that the banner actually wasn't live yet. These boys are sneaky for this. They are sneaky for this. All right, so next week, okay, so let me just do this. So next week we're getting this banner coming out. We're getting this banner coming in again. This banner, like, the characters kind of suck for the most part. Some of them are okay, like Trunks is really good. But you're really summoning here, obviously, for the multi-Z power, right? But this banner is really interesting. And by the way, they pushed all their content this week a little bit early because they're going to be like the equips art, like for Shallot and stuff like that, not available in the game. The Bardock Zenkai, I'm pretty sure, is not live right now and will be available at the same time as this next week on Tuesday/Wednesday, depending on time zones. But this banner is just flat out amazing. So that's the point of this video. So there's 2 things I want to kind of say. First and foremost, I'm late doing this video because I should have did this video on Tuesday. I just didn't think about it until now. I should have did this video on Tuesday, the second that other banner went up, to explain to people that this was coming. Because if you don't keep up with data mines, if you're not on like Twitter or whatever, you wouldn't have seen this. Like because it's not in the game right now, I'd imagine. Like if I go to the news, I'm pretty sure it's not there right now, showing that this is coming because it's still 4 days out because it comes on the 20th. And this banner, like I said, is freaking crazy. What do we have here? We've got Cell returning. We've got Goku and Frieza returning. By the way, is this their first time back on a banner? I believe so. I lose track of those things. So there's too many damn LFs for me to keep track of. And quite frankly, to be completely and totally honest with you, I don't summon for these characters when they come back a second time. I get these characters when they pop up on banners, like that Goku just did, where he's that Super Saiyan Goku. I missed him. And so I got him on that banner. Ironically, I ended my summon video, the summon before I got him. I did one more summon. I think I got him. So because I don't go crazy on banners and stuff like that. I like to get the characters. I'm cool with one copy of the character so I can do some videos for you guys and have a little bit of fun with them. But I'm not like going crazy, right? So I don't get these characters. I don't summon for them when they come back later on banners. So I don't typically keep track of them when they pop up on these side banners, right? But I can say this is kind of like this banner. This Legends Ultimate Pickup banner has a history of being scummy, because if you go back to the anniversary, they was it like the banner right before the anniversary started? They dropped 17 separately on that banner, and it's like, oh, well, we already knew that it was going to be Goku and Frieza. That was most of the speculation, right? And it's like, oh, well, now if you want 17, you have to pull on this separate banner while the anniversary stuff's about to pop up. And then the anniversary stuff pops up right after. It's like, oh, yeah, he's totally the best character to put on this team with these characters. So obviously you need him. And he's on a separate banner. And they've kind of consistently been doing that. So I will say, to give them a little bit of credit, these banners do have a little bit more value. But if they have more value if they're going to keep plugging these other characters on these side banners. Another thing that they never used to do, but they started doing, by the way, this year, is just flat out rerunning summons. Like, they've rerun a few summons that they never would do that, but they started flat out just rerunning exact summons. Like the Ultras, it's kind of whatever for them to rerun those banners, but I'm talking like how they reran the Gamma banner, things like that. Like they just started rerunning stuff as opposed to putting these characters on like their own literal, or putting them on other banners with new characters. Like I was just kind of explaining how that was my first chance to get this Goku, since I believe this is the first time he came back. They don't really do that all that often anymore. In fact, speaking of rerun, they just literally reran the Ginyu Force banner in its exact state. Sometimes they come back, they don't have the exact same like everything, like pity everything, but you know, they're rerunning banners now, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, since this banner's upcoming, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This banner has more value. That was the point of today's video, is to kind of explain this. I had to go in a roundabout way, so sorry about that. But this banner is pretty insane. It really is. Like I was saying a moment ago, let's first and foremost take a look at the steps. So step 1 is 1,000, and there's nothing really happening there. You do a few more to get a free step. And then the second step is EX or higher guaranteed. I am not sure if there are any EXs of value that you're really looking for in this group. Let's see the first few. No, it looks like the most recent ones are Bergamo and Oob, and there's some useful ones in there, like the Super Saiyan Blues. Those guys I just kind of mentioned a second ago. Omega, those are okay. Android 18 is good too, but not really the reason why you should be pulling on this banner. But anyway, EX or higher step. Step 3, you get another 10 characters. There's no incentive there. You're just getting those Legends tickets, which by the way suck. Those being any sort of pity at all, or like incentive to summon, sucks. It's an outdated system that they've replaced and they still use at the same time. It's kind of weird. Anyway, and then the final step. The fourth step is completely free. You get 10 characters there. Now, the downside to summoning on these types of banners is that, like, you don't get, well, prior to the new Bardock banner, right? you don't get like the time suit chance to get the new characters, stuff, all that fun stuff, right? So that's kind of the downside. These were also shortened steps, but you get 40 characters for 3,000 Chrono Crystals. That's probably about the standard that you would get. So let's look at the roster. We have Cell. So Cell is a character that is extremely powerful for the teams he'd be applicable to, and the Android team with him and Android 17 and the Gammas is still going to give any team in the game a run for their money. Like, they're still insanely strong. They're going to give any team in the game a run for their money. Goku and Frieza, a character in my opinion that peaks super duper high in this game. Really, really strong, can easily be the best character in any match given, and also just hits like a freaking nuke. in a lot of different compositions. Obviously, the main headliner, a character that got a balance change, if you weren't aware of that. They got buffed. So, yeah, like literally buffed. Not new equip stuff, but actual buff. So, anyway, blows my mind they did that. But anyway, moving on. Where's Piccolo at? He didn't get that. Anyway, definitely a character you want. Roshi's kind of just a weird inclusion because I don't know, like Roshi still has one of the most interesting mechanics in the game with the Mafuba, but I don't know that he's a character you're summoning on this banner to try to get exclusively. In fact, I still don't actually have him because he doesn't make his way into the featured roster on a lot of banners, right? Because if you look at the rates, he's at 0.5, but if you look at the unfeatured characters, like these other characters, are at 0.01. Like that's a whole decimal over. That's crazy, right? So you're not summoning on this banner to get Blue Beerus and actually doing it without spending insane amounts of Chrono Crystals or getting lottery lucky, basically. But anyway, Roshi's at 0.5 at 1200. I mean, he could be good here, but the problem with Roshi is that he now has a lot of competition. He had Jiren, so like he was the best yellow for that group, and then Jiren comes out and it's like, okay, Jiren's obviously better. And now it's like Frieza comes out and it's like, okay, Roshi, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I still think he could be useful, though. Zamasu still holding on by a thread there. Does still have some good stuff in his kit. And then you see some of these other characters that came on a similar time period as Zamasu, like Android 17, Pan, the Blue Goku Black. So these other characters kind of inconsequential, especially like Tien and the Absorbed Boo. But and Tapion back there as a straggler from the 4th year anniversary. And then Legends Festival 2021 Trunks would be criticized, but he's going to get a pass from me because he's super good. But the main stars of this banner are going to be Cell, Goku and Frieza, and Android 17. I didn't really talk much about 17, but I didn't talk much about him because I wanted to bring your attention to something. I have no clue why 17 and this Trunks, by the way, as well. I have no clue why both of those characters are sitting shadowed, like nerfed, at 0.25 instead of Goku and Frieza and Cell. The other LFs on this banner are at 0.5, but those guys are at 0.25. All the other featured characters on this banner are at 0.5. These guys are at 0.25. Most people are probably summoning on this banner. If I did a poll for this guy or Goku and Frieza, but he's probably second on the list because he is a character that does not go away. And if you get a lot of stars on him especially, he gets really crazy. Yeah, that applies to every character, but him, he really benefits. So anyway, because sometimes he can be a little squishy, but like his utility is insane, right? But like he's at 0.25, so they're just doing weird stuff all over the place with this game in terms of these summons, right? So they've been gatekeeping 17. And speaking of gatekeeping, I just wanted to throw an idea out there that they're also gatekeeping another character. Do you know who it is? Pause the video, post down below. This guy. They have been heavy gatekeeping this guy. Like I don't know what the deal is with this guy. I don't think this space doesn't show the banners the character has been on, but this guy is getting heavy gatekept for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Unless he popped up on some banner that I missed recently, because I don't see him in any arts. But yeah, as far as I can recall, he's been getting gatekept outside of that rerun banner, literally a rerun banner. So all in all, though, I want to know what you guys think and what you're gonna do, because like I said, I should have done this video a few days ago. This banner is interesting. I mean, let's count how many units versus Chrono Crystals. 500. So this is 500 for 5. That's normal. 700 for 7, also normal. 1200 for 12. That's completely in ratio. 10 for 10, so same deal. And then you get one single here. You just get less characters in this step up. And then you get a 3 times drop rate for the single. That's sparking guaranteed. It's kind of weird that they have this here when it's not this step, right? It's actually the next step. It's telling you step 4, but you're on step 3. You do also get the EX or higher guaranteed step, I guess, which is whatever. But literally, let's pull up the Gohan banner, just for context. Step 1, 300. Step 2, 500 for 5. Step 3, 7 for 7. 1,000 with the EX or higher. Step 6 was 1,000, and then step 7 was completely free. I mean, if I'm being honest, that banner sucks too. Like incentive-wise, not characters, but incentive-wise, it sucks. With these newer banners that they've been doing like the last 8 months, that look kind of like that Gohan one just did, a lot of the value is just flat out and also there's like ultra step ups and stuff like that. I was kind of talking about how there would be increased chances to get so and so or like certain drops or whatever. Some of that's just also like the ultra banners and stuff. But anyway, I also could be getting mildly confused because, like I said, I need to do a little bit of research. But nonetheless, I think this banner is insane. I think that in this banner, you've got 4 characters that have an argument to be top 10 to 15 at worst. And the one straggler out of the top 10 would probably be Trunks, and he's really good. So crazy overall potential here. It's just, this is also popping up next week because it's bait. Because what's going to happen is this pops up on the 20th. A week from this release, there probably will be an Ultra banner. Within a week and a half, at most, from the release of this banner, an Ultra will release in the game. And so it's kind of bait. That's why it's also, I didn't think about to mention this earlier. That's why this is popping up with all these damn good characters next week, because they need something for next week anyway, because next week is going to be a Zenkai release. They need something. But also because the following week will be an Ultra, and that'll push us to the end of Legends Festival, right? Legends Festival will be ending in a few weeks. So 2.5 probably. So 3 weeks probably. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap there, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry it was all over the place. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new, all that fun stuff. And again, remember, post down below what your thoughts are on the new tag character, and I will come back and react to those as well.